It's been for a while, and let's begin our discussion on this topic, force and laws of motion. So what is force and what are laws that govern the moving objects? So before we get into that, we need to first understand the puzzle that was long standing, more than a millennia, was that what is the natural state of an object? People tended to think that you do anything with the object and finally the object has to come back to rest, because to be at rest is the natural state of an object. That was what they thought about. But an interesting fact has come to light when Galileo performed a set of experiments. And what he did, he took to the marble floor and he just rolled a few marbles, and he was observing it for quite a long time, and he found that for the marble to roll on and on and on without changing its direction and its speed, and we don't need to put in any effort. That means the object does not require any effort. So then he came to a conclusion. One is, object at rest is not trying to change its state of rest when we put in some kind of effort. In the same fashion, an object moving in a particular direction without changing its speed also, we don't need to put in any effort. So that was the conclusion, and finally Galileo has come about, and followed by that, Newton followed it through. So out of a lot of experiments that he did, two things came to light. One is, it is about natural state of an object. So this was the puzzle that we are worried about. Natural state. State in the sense, it's not a physical state we are talking about, it's a mechanical state. So when we talk about state of an object, we are not talking in terms of states of matter like solid, liquid and gas. So we are actually talking about a mechanical state. You take any object, whether it's behavior of moving and rest, that was what we are talking about. Natural state of an object. So of matter I am not talking about, of an object. So, and it was long thought that rest is the natural state of an object. And Galileo and Newton proved it that it's not just rest and uniform motion in a straight line. Uniform motion in a straight line. Uniform motion in a straight line is also a natural state of an object. So last chapter we said that an object going with a particular speed and it does not change, we called it uniform motion. But an object moving in the same direction with the same speed, we called it uniform velocity. A velocity is a vector quantity. Here, uniform motion in a straight line, this long sentence can be put in a simple word called uniform velocity. It is very much equal to uniform velocity. Uniform velocity means object goes in a straight line without changing its speed. So there are two states of an object out of Galileo's experiment has come about, and because you know very clearly an object at rest does not require any force or effort, that we know it. For object moving also, to bring it to a stop, you need to put in some effort, right? So moving is also a natural state, and you need to put in some effort to change that state of moving. And naturally, object coming to rest because of the friction that is between the object and wherever the surface on which it is moving. So there are two natural states of an object: state of rest and state of uniform velocity. State of rest is called by a physics term or technical term called static. Static refers to rest. Static equilibrium. So I will explain equilibrium a little bit later after introducing force, concept of balanced and unbalanced forces, and you just remember this. So there are two natural states of an object at rest, and another thing, uniform velocity. Uniform velocity means object goes in a straight line with the same speed, and that is called dynamic or kinetic equilibrium. Dynamic or kinetic equilibrium. So what is that? There are two states of an object, like static equilibrium and kinetic equilibrium. What is the outcome of this, or what do we understand from this? So to be in these two states, object does not require to put in any effort, or you do not have to put in any effort to keep the object in the same state. So what else do you have to do? To change the object from these two states, you need to put in some effort. You need to communicate with the object. If an object is in its natural state, now that we have discussed two natural states, state of rest and state of uniform velocity. So to tell the object to change its state, you need to communicate with that object. That means of communicating with the object is what you call force. So what is the the upshot in this session is, there are two states of an object, state of rest and state of uniform velocity. That means going in a straight line with the same speed. For these two states, these two are called natural states of an object. That means object does not have to put in any effort to be in this state. And to tell the object to change its state, you need to communicate with that object. That ways and means of communicating with the object is called force or applying force. When we say we apply force, we are telling the object to change its state of rest. And changing its state of rest is not that easy to bring about. That we will see in the next session.